Hi, welcome to Bears and Chairs. My name is Michael Williams, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing our president, President Underwood.
Well, thanks for having me on. Bears and Chairs, that's great. Thanks for the invitation.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming. Right off the bat, I'm going to ask you, what's your favorite sports team? What do you like to watch? What kind of sports?
So this will surprise you. What would you guess is my favorite sport?
You're kind of tall, so I'm going to guess basketball.
I like basketball, but my favorite sport is baseball.
Baseball?
Yeah. And my favorite team is the New York Yankees.
Okay.
You know why?
No, sir.
You have no idea. When I was a kid, the greatest baseball player in the world was a guy named Mickey Mantle. And Mickey Mantle grew up near to where I lived, so every kid in our state rooted for Mickey Mantle.
That's awesome.
And he was a Yankee, so we were all Yankees fans.
I like that. Now, staying on your childhood, what kind of choices brought you to being President Underwood that we know today? How was your childhood like?
Oh, it was good. It was good. I had great parents. My father was a Baptist preacher, and my mother was like the smartest person in the family, even though she didn't go to college. And no, it was great. Had 4 brothers and sisters. I was the oldest.
I'm the oldest as well, so I know how that is. I know exactly how that is. No, so your father was a Baptist preacher, and I can see that kind of kept going in your life as you went to Oklahoma Baptist University. Can you talk about your undergraduate experience?
Yeah, I went to Michigan State first.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
And I'm not sure they liked me either. So I transferred to that school because my father had gone there, and he told me that he thought I ought to try something different. And he was right. It was great. For the first time, I actually met my teachers, and I got to know them, and they were interested in finding out what I was good at and what I wasn't so good at, and they challenged me, and they encouraged me. They became really lifelong friends in some cases. I had one professor I took for 7 classes, and we were friends from then on until he died a year ago. Yeah.
That sounds a lot like somewhere else I know, right here.
That's one of the things I really like about Mercer is the fact that professors and students develop relationships.
I like it too. I can attest to that. I have some very good bonds with my professors, just 3 years in, lifelong bonds, I believe. So what drew you to law as a profession?
I thought I wanted to go into politics, and I thought law was the path to go into politics, and so I went to law school, and it turns out I liked law and became a lawyer and never did go into politics.
So what kind of law did you practice?
I practiced trial law. I was a courtroom lawyer.
Courtroom lawyer. It says that you clerked for the Honorable Sam D. Johnson of the United States Court of Appeals for the 5th Circuit. Can you tell me what that was like?
Yeah, that was my first job out of law school. That was considered a great thing to do for experience when you come out of law schools, to spend a year or 2 with a federal or state judge, sort of learning your way around the courtroom. And so I spent 2 years with this judge on the United States Court of Appeals. And he was a great mentor and a great advisor, and I learned a lot about the real world of practicing law by serving as his law clerk, and it really set me up so that when I went into law practice, I had a much better sense of what I was doing than I would have had otherwise.
All right, we're gonna get back to some law questions, but I have a little break here for you. If they were making a movie about you, who would you want to play you?
I don't know, but I will tell you that my favorite book, my favorite movie is a lawyer book and a lawyer movie, and it's To Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill him. I was going to say. I think if someone had to play you in a movie, it would be an Atticus type.
Yeah, so maybe somebody like Gregory Peck. He's long gone now, but I love that movie. I love that book.
It's a very, very good book. Did you read the sequel when it came out?
I did, yeah.
You like it? I pre-ordered it from Barnes & Noble. I remember when it came out during my sophomore year of high school, and I was super excited.
Yeah, but it's not like the original.
It really isn't.
No.
Yeah, no, I didn't like it as much either. So, you're obviously a very busy man. How do you relax with such a busy schedule?
Oh, I like to read. I like to take walks with my dog. I find that very relaxing, and it helps me sort of focus my thoughts. And I like sports. I go to Mercer sporting events, and that's relaxing and fun.
That sounds fun. No, I'm glad that you brought.
What do you
something
like
up.
to do?
What do I like to do?
Yeah.
I also like to watch sports. Like I said, I'm a Toronto Raptors fan, so I got to watch them anytime I can. Because they got 82 games in the NBA season. I got NBA all the time. I like to run, and I like to make things like this. Just come up with ideas and see.
So how did you become a Raptors fan? That's very unusual for a young man from Columbus, Georgia.
That's true. Well, I wasn't actually into the NBA at all. My friend was always talking to me about basketball.
Yeah.
And then he would be like, Michael, you got da-da-da-da, you got da-da-da-da. And I was like, what is this guy talking about? And I felt bad because he's one of my good friends, and I had no clue what he was talking about. So I did my research. I said, I need to get into this. And I was like, okay, I got to pick a team that's built the kind of way that something I would want to root for. Not too good, so I'm not a bandwagoner, but not too bad, so I'm not I'm not stuck in the dump. So around 2012, 2013, I picked the Toronto Raptors because I was a huge DeMar DeRozan fan. I liked the way that he played. And I've stuck with the team. It's been pretty good to me. We won a championship in 2019, so it's been pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But now you brought up your dog, and I wanted to ask you, because Cricket's kind of a Mercer celebrity around here. I don't know. I don't want to say anything, but I think cricket popularity might even eclipse yours.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope so.
So, can you describe the relationship between you and Cricket?
Yeah, she's like, she is a member of my family, and I love that dog. Yeah. I think this sounds corny, but I think when you adopt a dog, you accept a very important responsibility. And I think you have the responsibility of making sure that this great creature that would do anything for you lives a good life. So if there are things that she wants to do, I try and make sure she gets to do them.
I like that. I've never had a dog. My sister was allergic, but I wish if I had a dog, I know I'd want one with the same. I want to have the same bond like you and Cricket do.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now let's go back to some law questions. So I know that you were a law professor at Baylor. Can you talk me through that? Like, what was that experience like?
It was great. When Baylor called me and asked me if I would consider joining their faculty, I liked the idea of being involved in training the next generation of lawyers. I have a very high regard for that profession. My daughter's now a lawyer, and the idea of playing a role in, training the next generation and trying to instill in them the importance of the work they do and the importance of the responsibilities that they accept was appealing to me. And the other thing that was appealing to me was Baylor told me I could continue to try cases.
Okay.
If I joined their faculty, and because I was going to be making an income as a law professor, I could take really any kind of case, whether it was a case where you were going to get paid or not. So I got to take some really interesting cases.
Can you tell me about any of them?
Yeah, I represented a man who was on death row, and ended up representing him for 17 years. And he was released from death row right before I came to Mercer. It was a very rewarding case to work on, to see somebody who shouldn't have been on death row and to see him released through the work that you'd done. That was a great case. There was an incident that occurred outside of Waco, Texas, where Baylor is. This is before you were born, so you haven't heard of it. Okay. But it was notorious at the time. There was a cult there called the Branch Davidians. And the head of the cult was a man named David Koresh. And the ATF raided the cult one morning, and 7 ATF officers were killed in the raid. So I ended up representing the families of those ATF officers who were killed in that raid. That was a really interesting case and a lot of fun. And really, I had a lot of very interesting cases that I was able to take while I was teaching law school.
Sir, so you talked about the relationship that you had in undergrad with your professors.
Yeah.
So was there a similar kind of relationship that you established with your clients throughout your law career?
Oh yeah, I still stay in touch with some of my clients. I still stay in touch with a number of my law students.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really awesome to have those kind of connections, just like lifelong kind of things. If you give me 1 second, I want to ask you about something really specific here. Right here. It says that you directed the Baylor's Law School's Practice Course program, and they said that it was described by the Princeton Review as unique, tough, ultra intense, but arguably the best training ground in the nation for practicing lawyering. So can you talk me through that? Like what kind of experience that was for you?
It was intense. It was intense. The students had these T-shirts. It was a third-year program, their last year of law school, and they spent their entire last year working on this program. And the students had these T-shirts that said, at most law schools, your third year is a joke, but at Baylor, the joke's on you. And they had this other T-shirt that said, Baylor is the Marine Corps of law schools. And it was tough, and it was intense, and we started at 8 o'clock in the morning and sometimes didn't finish until 11 o'clock at night. And the idea was that we wanted every one of our students to be ready to try cases on the day they graduated.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So 2005, interim president
Right.
of Baylor. How did that come about, and what was your experience like there?
They were making a change in their presidents, and they were going to need an interim president until they could find somebody permanent. And I had worked on some big challenges that the university had, and the trustees knew me, and they thought that I'd be able to handle things until they could find somebody permanent. And they asked me to do it, and I did. I never had any interest in doing that kind of work. I never thought I wanted to be a college president, but I enjoyed the work I did there.
You say you didn't think about you wanting to be a college president, and here we are.
Yeah.
Almost 20 years later.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, it's I started doing the work there at Baylor, and I thought it was interesting. And Mercer began recruiting me to come here, and I came and took a look at Mercer without telling anybody I was coming, and I spent the day just talking to students on campus, and I liked it, and it felt a little bit like the undergraduate school I had attended, except it had a lot more to work with here. You know, we didn't have a medical school, and we didn't have a law school, and we didn't have $1 million microscopes, and we didn't have the kind of research profile that Mercer has, or the kinds of resources that it had. So I thought, well, this place is really sort of a perfect combination of a smaller liberal arts school and a major research university. It's got the best of both, and I decided to come, and it's been great. I love it here.
Yes, sir. So you said you never thought you were going to be a president, at least at that point, back in like 2005.
I did not.
So if you could do anything else.
I didn't aspire to be a president. I liked what I was doing.
That's fair, that's fair.
Yeah.
If you could be anything else, what would you be? Like bar experience, like all that stuff. Just like if you could go out and do anything that was just interesting to you. You know, you could be an astronaut. Let's just say you automatically get all the experience you need. What do you want to do?
Well, I loved being a lawyer, and I've loved being here at Mercer, doing what I'm doing here. And really, when I get done doing this job, I'm going to go back to being a lawyer.
Oh.
I can't think of anything better.
Back to being a lawyer. Yes, sir. Now that is awesome.
Have you ever thought about going to law school?
my second grade teacher told me that I would be a great lawyer, but I think it's just because I talked a lot in class.
Yeah.
So, but no, I've actually thought about it. I want to take, is it LSAT, is that what it is?
The LSAT.
I want to take it when it comes up, like the next one. I think there's one this month, but I think I want to take the next one just because I've taken a practice test and I didn't do too poorly. And then I was like reading up on it, and it seems like it's the kind of stuff I like to think about just in my free time.
Yeah,
So,
I mentioned to you before we got on the air, a student that went to the same high school you did. Her name was Jazz Buckley. She graduated maybe 4 years ago. She won the National Debate Championship when she was at Mercer. She went to law school at UCLA. She's just graduated from law school. She's doing what I did, clerking for a federal judge this year. But it's a great field. You ought to think about it.
I will actually. UCLA actually, that's what was another school that I was thinking about going to before I came to Mercer. I'm liking here though. I really enjoy it here. No. So you're talking about everything in your past, all the stuff that you enjoy, but what's the thing that you're the most proud of in your career, or just in your life in general?
Well, there are a lot of things that I feel proud to have been a part of. The Mercer on Mission program is really special to me. I'm very proud of that program. It wasn't my idea, but it was an idea brought to me that I pushed because I could see that that the work that would be done in that program would have a tremendous positive impact on students, as well as the people that were the beneficiaries of what the students would be doing. You know, the prosthetics program in Vietnam, I love that program. I love the story. I love the fact that because of the work of our students, there are 17,000 people who couldn't walk, who now are walking and back at work. I think there's just not stories like that in higher education. And you know, Z-Beans Coffee coming out of that program in an effort by a student named Shane Bierster to help farmers in mountainous regions of Ecuador. Just amazing stories come out of that, and I know that the students that participate feel like it's a life-changing experience for them. So I'm proud of a lot of things, but I'm especially proud of how that program's developed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now I got a softball one for you real quick. I'm going to throw it in here. So I'm going to do a little bit of this or that. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to tell you two things. You got to tell me which one you would prefer.
Okay.
All right. We're going to start. Facebook or Twitter? Which one are you into?
I don't have a Facebook account. I do have a Twitter account, so I guess Twitter.
I do see you on Twitter sometimes tweeting after the games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I knew you were at the basketball game. I see you tweeting when the girls are winning games.
Yeah, but I don't have Facebook, so I don't know.
Facebook? I feel that. I'm not a Facebook guy either. I'm glad you said Twitter. All right. Sneakers or sandals?
Sneakers.
Sneakers? What kind?
Adidas.
Adidas?
Yeah.
Okay.
What kind do you like?
I'm a Nike guy myself.
Are you?
Yes. I like the Jordans.
Yeah.
Big.
I can see that.
Trying to get more into sneakers. Yeah. All right. Couch or recliner?
I think recliner.
Recliner?
Yeah. How about you?
I don't know. I'm more of a couch guy. If I get on the recliner, I'm a fall asleep 100%. I got too much stuff to do in a day to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Coke?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, this one's important.
I haven't had a Pepsi in 25 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not a streak. That's longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
That's
well,
crazy.
you're from Columbus. That's a Coke town.
The Coke town.
Yeah.
You know what? Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That is crazy that you said that. That is awesome. Yeah. The Coke town.
Yeah.
You know, that is real. That was real. No, pancake or waffle?
Boy, that's tough.
More important, Waffle House or IHOP?
Waffle House. Yeah.
That's the correct. You know, none of them had right or wrong answers except for that one. I'm glad you got it. I'm really glad you got it. You like cake or you like pie?
Pie.
Pie?
Oh, yeah.
That was quick. That was too quick.
It's easy. Pie.
What kind of pie?
I like lots of kinds, but I like apple pie.
Apple pie?
Yeah. Fruit pies.
Fruit pies. I don't think fruit should be hot. I think that's
Really?
I don't think fruit should be hot.
So you're a cake person.
I'm not a cake person either, but I don't think fruit should be like I just like to stay away from pies and cakes.
Yeah.
Personally.
So you don't like dessert even?
Not really. I eat a Hershey Sundae pie but yeah, that's a little treat for myself every once in a while. Not a huge cake person. I do see you in the gym though.
Yeah.
You like being in the gym? I see you in the UC gym a lot.
I try to be there every day.
Be there every day? Is there a certain thing you like to work out?
It depends on the day. I mix it up. What do you like to do?
What do I like to do?
In the gym.
I'm a big runner.
Yeah.
So I love cardio. I like to go down and play basketball, just get a little jog in, work on my form and stuff. Yeah.
I ran today.
You ran today?
I lifted yesterday. Yeah.
I like that. I need to get a schedule like you. My schedule's all out of whack.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I got one.
When you get to be my age, you got to do that stuff. You got to do it every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
You got to maintain. So I want to ask you one more thing about like Mercer as like a institution. Like you got here in 2006. Obviously, I was 5 years old. So I don't know how it was, but you've been able to see Mercer grow since then. Like I said, I was 5 years old, and now I'm a full-grown adult. I got facial hair and everything. And in a way, Mercer has grown up for you. Like it was your little school, like you're the school that you start with, and now you've seen it grow and blossom with things like Mercer on Missions and Z-Beans, things that have come during your tenure, and that you've kind of added, and you want to see it grow, and you want to see it get as be as useful to as many people as possible, and just kind of train the next generation of leaders. We always say Mercer majors, like we all major in changing the world. How do you think that's come through in your time here, and how would you like to see that continue?
Well, we have grown during my time. We had maybe 2,100 undergraduate students. Today we've got almost 4,000. So we're about twice as large. But that's about as large as I want the undergraduate student population to be. I want our students to know one another and know their professors. And I think if we get much larger, we'll lose that quality. So I think we're about as large as I want us to be. But I want us to, I've always said Mercer punches above its weight. Do you know what that means?
I think so, like fighting, like boxing?
Yeah, like in boxing, a flyweight taking on a heavyweight.
Yes, sir.
And I've always felt like Mercer punches above its weight. When I look at, we're not afraid to compete with anyone in any arena. We're the only private school in the state that competes in Division I. We played Alabama in football last year. We're going to play Auburn next year. In debate, we win the national championship, it seems like every 2 or 3 years, beating all these big dogs from around the country.
Sir.
And so I want to see Mercer continue to develop in terms of what it's accomplishing and the impact that its students are having.
Yes, sir. I like that. My sister goes to Auburn, so I got a lot riding on that game. A little sibling rivalry there.
Yeah, I think we'll beat them this year.
I think so too. I'm putting my money down. But no, thank you, President Underwood, for coming for the interview. We really appreciate it.
Glad to do it, and I think you've got a gift for this, Michael.
I appreciate that.
I think maybe you've got a future doing this kind of thing if you don't become a lawyer.
Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. This is the backup. I'm gonna do like you. I'm gonna be a lawyer. Come do this for a little while, and then when I'm done my time, then I'll go back. I like how that works.
Hey, it's good seeing you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir.
All right.